Well, I got a little present from my daughter, my youngest daughter. She has been showing me around some of the beautiful National Trust places in Northern Ireland, which I just love. I mean, they are gorgeous. All these beautiful old houses and these incredible gardens. Anyway, so we were visiting one of these, and my son-in-law picked me up this book, Exploring Midsummer, the towns and villages at the murderous heart of England. Now, for those of you who've never heard of Midsummer Murders, it's a brilliant series. Now, I'm particularly fond of the early series, which I think you can get on YouTube easily enough. It's wonderful. I'm not going to say anything more than that. Just explore Midsummer Murders, the early, the first series. John Nettles was Inspector Barnaby, and I think he was the best Inspector Barnaby of the lot. So this book, which is really brilliant, it takes you through all the various locations that are used for the Midsummer Murders. And England at its finest. Love it. No, I don't stay like this all day long with my feet up, but occasionally I just need to get those feet up and sort of my legs level with my heart. It sort of gives me a boost. It probably just pumps all the blood back up through my heart, Anyway, this is Friday. It's a can't make up its mind kind of a day. There's strong wind and then no wind. There's rain and then there's no rain, and there's sun. It's carrying on a bit. It's a bit like one of those unpredictable teenage children. We've all experienced them in one form or another. Completely unpredictable. So it's about 11:30, something like that. And I've been busy. I'm going to take you and show you some of the things I've been doing. And then probably later on today, I'll add a bit more to this diary, as I do. Whew. Right. If I can just force myself to move now. I'm actually sat in my basket chair, and there's a cup of tea there with my name on it. Well, it's almost finished. Okay. I'll move my derriere. So I did a massive tidy up around the barn. And, oh my word, listen to those bees. Where are they all? Hither and thither. Look at them. Lots of little bees. And, Sorry, I'm just looking around as I go. I'm actually looking around thinking of all the jobs I haven't done. This is typical me. So I've got a lot of plants there, which I'm going to plant into the roadside verge. That's my plan. And I've been doing quite a bit of a tidy up over in the tunnel. I have to stop every so often because the trees are just magnificent. I mean, I do have this love affair with trees. You've heard of tree huggers. Well, I'm just a tree lover. I just love trees. There's a wee bit of honesty coming up there. Now, someone did ask me, I'm just trying to remember comments, someone asked me on a recent comment, how is the rose doing that you planted into the arch that you built? Okay, so if you remember last year, I think it was about August, I may have made this arch. You'll have to go back in the videos and check. But it was a tiny little rose that I put in there, okay? Now, look at this. Look at this. I've got to start tying it in. There's going to be masses of roses on this. It's going all the way up over this arch, looking down across the top of the hedge. I think I'll have to do something with that. Yep, there's another job with my name on it. The little Hades cutting that I stuck in there has taken over. This is the only complaint I have, you know. That the plants do so extraordinarily well that they exceed my expectations. Right, I was going to the Polytunnel, wasn't I? Oh, I've just got to keep stopping en route. Look at this beautiful little butterfly and all these gorgeous primulas, I think. Cowslips, they're sort of a cowslip primula. That's increased year on year, that plant. I may have to divide it up. Look at all the new growth here on the Mahonia. Daisies galore. Okay, so I had all the raspberry canes in here drying off. Had a wee bit of a bonfire the other day. Mainly just to make a little bit of wood ash for the garden. Oh, look, I'm looking up. The white roses are out. And there's lots and lots of bees in here. Mainly little carder bees. I'm seeing lots and lots of carder bees. Oh, having said that, just spotted a big bumble up there. Now the fruits are beginning to form on the nectarine. Look at this. Lots of fruits forming. I will have to be very industrious and go through the nectarine tree and remove sort of every second fruit or whatnot, because otherwise I'm not going to have big enough nectarines to actually eat, you know. That was a path that I cleared just in the autumn, and I'll have to go back up that now and clear it. But one of the lovely things that I'm really quite thrilled to see, the raspberry canes that have gone native, as most of my plants do, are forming so many lovely buds. These are raspberry canes that have literally grown out of this compost heap. Some of the best plants grow out of compost heaps, you know. This is another compost heap that I've made just in this little gap. And of course, what it's going to do, it's going to be feeding these fruit bushes and that rhubarb. So, whilst it's working and making the compost, it's doing a great service to the plants around it. The chives here are about to flower, and the lemon balm has gone crazy. I keep meaning to take the time to make some rhubarb jam. Now, perhaps it's something I'm going to get done this weekend. We'll see. Do you know, sometimes it's worthwhile growing vegetables in pots just for the sheer colour and beauty of them, as we do flowers. Look at this red cabbage. It's like a purpley blue velvet. It's so beautiful. Lots of new growth on this beautiful pine tree in the blue pot. So I've been topping up my spuds. There they are, duly topped up, a bit more to go. And this is another container with my spuds in, topped up. And the beautiful Pieris. Someone asked me if I could add some written language to the videos, you know, and spell out the names of the plants. Sadly, I just don't have that luxury of time. But wherever possible, I'll try and pronounce the name of the plant properly. And if you so wish, I can spell it out on the video. Pieris is P-I-E-R-I-E-S, I think. Anyway, should be able to get to it using that. Here's a view you rarely see, and that's the cordylines that are growing up through this beautiful copper beech, which has now got quite gigantic. In fact, both species have got gigantic. Don't quite know what to do with them, except just let them be. Though I may have to trim back some of the branches here that are falling over other things, like this little tree. There's the old hen house. And the pollarded lime trees, they're just coming back. They should look lovely by the end of the summer. I do have to keep pollarding some of the trees because I have planted them so close together, like this copper beech. But again, give it about 12 months and it'll look lovely. But some of them need to be kept small, almost kind of shrubby-like. Well, I was very enthusiastic in the early days, planting like my life depended on it, because it did, and it does. This is a lovely example of having the plants you want rather than weeds. Don't spend time digging up weeds, and certainly don't use chemicals on them because you're destroying the very earth that they're growing in. But put in plants that are equally, if not more, rapacious, and they will just take over, like the London Pride here spilling out onto the path, and the euphorbia, which has taken over this very weedy spot. Something to show you. Even the stuff that I cut and throw into piles keeps growing. So this is some of the rose bush. See this? Oh, you can't see it. It's just over the path there. That rose that I cut back to almost nothing last year, and I threw all the bits down, okay, underneath this willow. Look. You can't keep a good rose down, can you? Look. All in here and coming up through the willow. Amazing and beautiful. And that's all the willow that I cut back just about 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago. And look how it's all coming on. Isn't that amazing? And that's some of the bits that I cut. And even being nowhere near the earth, it's still trying to grow. But that will dry out eventually and make great kindling for the fire and make great wood for the stove, you know, when it comes to trying to get a really strong heat going. So now you can see both the beauty and the strength and the sheer volume of that copper beech and how it's beginning to reach out and sort of cast quite strong shadows onto other plants. So I will need to give that a little bit of a prune, the lower branches anyway. But it is a magnificent tree. It's just beautiful. Just about a month ago, this path was open. And now all this willow, which I'd, again, taken right back to almost zero, is going crazy. Oh, I've got the hiccups. So just push my way through it. There's another path which was open, which will now need to be reopened. That's what I mean about all this incredible growth, you know, going up towards midsummer. Isn't it amazing, you know, how Mother Earth has only got one strong desire, one raison d'etre, and that is to be abundant. And all we do as a human species, living on her rather than with her, is to keep vigorously stopping that desire that she has to be abundant, curtailing it, doing everything we can to prevent the abundance. And yet when you look around at a woodland garden where she is allowed to simply be, it's beautiful. It's just heaven.